The dust settled over the rocky wasteland. Vegeta lay on his back. He stared up at the blue sky. His chest heaved with the heavy breaths. He spat out a little bit of blood. He tried to sit up, but his arms shook. He looked across the field. Gohan stood there. The younger Saiyan did not look tired. He did not look happy. He just looked at his hands. His guy was not even torn. 7 years had passed since the Cell Games. 7 years of peace for the world. But not for Gohan. Gohan had made a promise to himself. He would never be weak again. He would never let someone else die because he was too slow or too scared. So he trained. He did not go to school parties. He did not play video games. He studied and he fought. Vegeta punched the ground. He hated this. He was the prince of all Saiyans. He had trained in gravity chambers that would crush a normal human. He pushed himself to the limit every single day. But Gohan was always one step ahead. Gohan did not stop training after Cell died. He got stronger. He mastered the Super Saiyan power. He could stay in that form for days without getting angry or tired. It was normal for him now. Vegeta stood up slowly. He wiped his face. He looked at Trunks hiding behind a rock. Trunks looked scared. He had never seen his father lose like this. Gohan bowed slightly to Vegeta. It was not a mockery. It was respect, but it felt like a slap in the face. Gohan flew away without saying a word. He had to go study. Life at home was quiet. Chi-Chi did not yell as much anymore. She saw the look in Gohan's eyes. It was the same look Goku used to have before a big fight, but Goku only had it sometimes. Gohan had it always. He sat at the table and read his books. He was smart. He got perfect grades, but he did not have friends. He did not laugh at jokes. Goten, his little brother, peeked around the corner. Goten wanted to play. He wanted to learn how to fly, but he was afraid to ask. Gohan sensed him. He did not turn around. He just spoke softly. He told Goten to come in. Goten ran to him. Gohan smiled. It was a small smile. Did not reach his eyes. He picked Goten up. He promised to train him tomorrow. Training was the only way Gohan knew how to bond. It was the only language he spoke now. The day of the World Martial Arts Tournament arrived. The sun was bright. The crowd was loud. Everyone was excited to see the fighters. But the Z fighters were nervous. Goku was coming back. He had been dead for 7 years. He was allowed to return for 1 day. Baba the Witch brought him to the waiting area. Goku appeared with a halo over his head. He had a big grin on his face. He waved at everyone. Krillin hugged him. Piccolo nodded. Then Goku saw Gohan. Goku stopped smiling. He walked over to his son. He looked him up and down. He felt the energy radiating off Gohan. It was tight. It was controlled. It was massive. Goku asked if Gohan had been training. Gohan nodded. He said he never stopped. Goku looked at Vegeta. Vegeta looked away. Goku sensed the tension. He realized that his son was not the same boy he left behind. The boy who cried and hated fighting was gone. In his place was a warrior who treated battle like a job he could not quit. They walked to the punch machine. The other fighters hit it. They got scores like 100 or 200. Mr. Satan hit it and got a score slightly higher. The crowd cheered. Then the Z fighters stepped up. They held back their power. They tapped the machine softly. But Gohan did not care about holding back. He did not care about hiding. He stepped up. He flicked the machine with one finger. The machine exploded. Metal flew everywhere. The crowd went silent. The judges were scared. Gohan just walked away. He did not apologize. He had no patience for games. The matches began. The Supreme Kai and his assistant Kibito were there. They were mysterious. They watched Gohan closely. They sensed a great evil approaching Earth. They needed energy to lure out the wizard Babidi. They planned to let Gohan get attacked. They wanted his energy to be stolen so they could follow the attackers. It was a risky plan, but they did not know Gohan. They did not know that this version of Gohan did not let his guard down. Gohan stepped into the ring to fight Kibito. Kibito wanted to see Gohan's power. He asked Gohan to turn into a Super Saiyan. The crowd murmured. They did not know what that meant. Gohan looked at the Supreme Kai. He sensed that these two were not normal humans. They were gods. But Gohan did not trust gods. He only trusted his own strength. He closed his eyes. The wind picked up. The tiles on the floor began to crack. Golden light exploded around him. It was not a gentle glow. It was a raging fire. Lightning crackled around his body. He went straight to Super Saiyan 2. The pressure pushed people back in their seats. Then it happened. Two men jumped out of the crowd, Spopovich and Yamu. They had strange M symbols on their foreheads. They held devices to steal energy. They rushed at Gohan. In the original timeline, the Supreme Kai froze Gohan, so the men could steal his energy. The Supreme Kai raised his hand to use his magic. He shouted for Gohan to stay still. He used his paralysis power. Gohan froze for a second. The men lunged. But Gohan was too strong. The paralysis hold shattered like glass. Gohan's energy flared. He did not need to move his hands. He just shouted. The shockwave hit Spopovich and Yamu. They were blasted backward. They crashed into the stadium wall. The devices in their hands shattered. No energy was stolen. The plan failed instantly. The Supreme Kai stood there with his mouth open. He had never seen a mortal break a divine hold so easily. Gohan glared at the Supreme Kai. He asked what the meaning of this was. He demanded to know why a god was attacking him. The crowd was screaming. People were running away. The tournament was ruined. Spopovich and Yamu stood up. They were injured. They were terrified. They had no energy for their master. They knew Babidi would kill them. They tried to fly away. They needed to escape. The Supreme Kai shouted that they must be followed. He explained quickly that a wizard named Babidi was trying to wake up a monster named Majin Buu. They needed the energy to do it. Since they failed to get it, they would go back to the ship. Goku and Vegeta flew into the air. They were ready to follow. Gohan did not wait. He shot into the sky like a bullet. He was faster than everyone. He caught up to Spopovich in seconds. He grabbed the big man by the neck. He demanded answers. Spopovich laughed nervously. He said it was too late. He said the wizard was watching. Suddenly, Spopovich's head began to swell. Babidi was killing him from afar to keep him quiet. Gohan saw the energy build up. He threw Spopovich high into the air. The man exploded in a cloud of purple smoke. Yamu tried to dive into the forest. Gohan fired a small energy blast. It vaporized Yamu instantly. Goku and the Supreme Kai caught up. Goku looked worried. He told Gohan that he should not have killed him. They needed to find the base. Gohan looked at his father cold and hard. He said he would not let enemies escape. He said mercy was a mistake. He said he could sense the wizard's energy signature from the moment Spopovich exploded. He pointed to the ground. He knew exactly where the spaceship was hiding. He did not need a guide. He did not need a plan. He was going to end it. They landed in a rocky canyon. There was a weird mark on the ground. The Supreme Kai said the ship was buried underneath. He warned them that Babidi had powerful guards. He said they should be careful. He said they should sneak in. Gohan did not listen. He raised his hand. He charged a massive ball of energy. He fired it straight at the ground. The earth shook. The rocks melted. The blast blew a massive hole in the crust of the planet. The spaceship was revealed. It was a yellow ball with a spike on top. It was damaged by the blast. Smoke poured out of it. Inside the ship, the wizard Babidi fell out of his chair. He was small and wrinkled. He was screaming. The ship's sensors were blaring. He had never seen such power. He had gathered zero energy. He was at a disadvantage. Beside him stood the king of the demon realm, Dabura. Dabura looked calm. He sensed the power outside. He told Babidi not to worry. He said he would handle the trash. He said he would collect the energy from their bodies directly. Dabura floated out of the broken ship. He was tall and red. He had horns and a cape. He looked strong. The Supreme Kai trembled. He told the Saiyans that this was Dabura. He was stronger than anyone could imagine. He told them to retreat. He said they needed a strategy. Vegeta scoffed. He stepped forward. He wanted to fight. He wanted to show that he was better than Gohan. But Gohan stepped in front of him. Gohan said this was his fight. He said he was the one who exposed the ship. Vegeta grabbed Gohan's shoulder. He shouted that he was the prince. He said he was tired of Gohan taking the spotlight. Goku stepped between them. He told them to stop fighting. He said the enemy was right there. Dabura laughed. He saw the darkness in Vegeta's heart. He saw the jealousy. He whispered to Babidi inside the ship. He told the wizard to use his magic on the one with the spiky hair, the one full of pride. Babidi grinned. He began to cast his spell. He targeted Vegeta. Vegeta froze. He clutched his head. He screamed. Purple veins bulged on his forehead. The Majin mark began to appear. The Supreme Kai shouted for Vegeta to clear his mind. Goku yelled at Vegeta to fight it, but Vegeta stopped screaming. He started laughing. He lowered his hand. The M was clearly on his forehead. He turned to look at Goku. His eyes were lined with black. He smiled a wicked smile. He said he felt great. He said he finally felt free. He had let the magic take over on purpose. He wanted the power boost. He wanted to bridge the gap between him and Gohan. But Gohan did not look shocked. He did not look sad. He looked disappointed. He looked at Vegeta with pity. This made Vegeta furious. Vegeta powered up. The ground cracked. He turned Super Saiyan 2. His power was massive. He pointed a hand at the crowd in the tournament stadium miles away. He threatened to kill them all if Goku did not fight him. In the original timeline, Goku agreed to fight Vegeta to save the people. Goku asked Gohan to go on ahead with the Supreme Kai. That did not happen this time. Before Vegeta could fire the blast, Gohan moved. He moved faster than sound. He appeared right in front of Vegeta. He grabbed Vegeta's wrist. He squeezed. The bones creaked. Vegeta's eyes went wide. He tried to pull away, but he could not. Gohan looked into Vegeta's eyes. He told Vegeta to stop acting like a child. He said there were no spectators here to save. He said Vegeta was throwing a tantrum. Vegeta roared. He swung his other fist. Gohan caught that one too. Goku watched in silence. He realized the gap was real. Vegeta had sold his soul to catch up, but even with the magic boost, he was physically struggling against Gohan. Gohan headbutted Vegeta. It was a brutal sound. Vegeta staggered back. Blood ran down his face. Gohan did not let up. He kicked Vegeta in the stomach. Vegeta flew into the canyon wall. The rocks collapsed on him. Dabura watched with interest. He realized the plan had backfired. The one they controlled was getting beaten. The energy from the fight was still flowing to the ship, but it was slow. Babidi screamed at Dabura to kill the other two. Dabura drew a sword from thin air. He lunged at Gohan, while Gohan was distracted with Vegeta. Goku shouted a warning. Gohan spun around. He caught the sword blade between his palms. He snapped the steel in half. He kicked Dabura in the chest. Dabura flew back. The Demon King wiped his mouth. He admitted that Gohan was impressive. He said he would have to use his stone spit. He gathered saliva in his mouth. He spat a stream of liquid at Gohan. The Supreme Kai screamed that it turned anything it touched into stone. Gohan dodged. The spit hit a rock. The rock turned to grey stone instantly. Gohan frowned. He realized he could not block that. He had to be fast. He disappeared. He reappeared behind Dabura. He fired a blast of energy at point-blank range. Dabura blocked it with his cape, but the force sent him crashing into the ship. The ship began to crack open. The seal on Majin Buu was weakening. Babidi panicked. He had nowhere near enough energy. The meter was only half full, but the damage to the ship was critical. The containment ball opened prematurely. Steam hissed out. Pink smoke filled the air. The Supreme Kai fell to his knees. He said it was over. He said Majin Buu was free. But because the energy was low, Buu did not come out fully formed. The smoke swirled. It formed a blob. It looked like a pink pile of goo. It had eyes. It bubbled and groaned. It was confused. It was weak. It was not the fat, jolly Buu from history. It was a mindless, hungry instability. It lashed out. It shot a beam of pink light at a nearby mountain. The mountain vanished. Babidi shouted orders. He told Buu to kill the Supreme Kai. The pink blob looked at Babidi. It did not understand language. It only felt hunger. It wrapped a tentacle around Babidi. Babidi screamed. The blob absorbed him. The wizard was gone. Now the blob had the wizard's magic, but no master. It began to change shape. It grew taller. It became a thin, grey-pink skeleton of a creature. It screamed a sound that broke the glass in the nearby city. Goku stepped up next to Gohan. He said they had to destroy it now. He said they could not let it evolve. Vegeta climbed out of the rubble. He was still under the spell, but Babidi was dead. He was confused. He saw the monster. He sensed its Kai. It was wild and chaotic. Vegeta spat blood. He said he would destroy it. He charged a final flash. Gohan charged a Kamehameha. Goku charged his own Kamehameha. 3 beams of light lit up the canyon. They fired together. The combined power was enough to destroy a solar system. The beams hit the grey Buu. The creature howled. It tried to push back, but without the full energy to wake it up properly, it lacked the density to survive. The blast consumed it. Every cell was burned away. The dust settled. There was nothing left but a massive crater. The threat of Majin Buu was gone in less than an hour. The Supreme Kai could not believe it. He wept with relief. He thanked them profusely. He said the universe was safe. But Gohan did not celebrate. He looked at Vegeta. Vegeta was panting. The M was still on his forehead. The darkness was still in his heart. The magic did not fade just because Babidi died. It was part of him now. Vegeta looked at his hands. He felt the power. He looked at Goku. He said the monster was gone. He said now nothing stood in their way. He demanded his fight. He said he sold his soul for a day with Kakarot, and he was going to get it. Goku looked at Gohan. He asked Gohan to stand down. He said this was between him and Vegeta. Gohan shook his head. He said Vegeta was unstable. He said Vegeta had just threatened to kill innocent people. Gohan said he would not allow a threat to exist. He stepped forward. He raised his fists. He was ready to fight Vegeta again. He was ready to put the prince down for good if he had to. Goku put a hand on Gohan's chest. He looked stern. He said he was the father. He said he would handle this. He told Gohan to take the Supreme Kai and leave. Gohan hesitated. He looked at the madness in Vegeta's eyes. He looked at the resolving Goku's eyes. He lowered his hands. He grabbed the Supreme Kai. He flew away. Goku turned to Vegeta. He transformed into Super Saiyan 2. The two rivals clashed. The earth shook with their impact. Gohan flew high into the atmosphere. He could feel the shock waves. He felt every punch. He clenched his fists. He felt useless. He had saved the world from Buu, but he could not save his father and Vegeta from themselves. He realized that strength was not enough. He had all the power in the world, but he still could not fix the broken hearts of Saiyans. He returned to the lookout. He waited. Hours later, the shaking stopped. Gohan waited for a power signature. He felt one fading. It was Goku. Gohan's eyes widened. He sensed Goku's energy drop to zero. It vanished. Goku's time on Earth was up early. The energy output of the fight had burned through his 24 hours. He was gone. He had returned to the other world. And Vegeta's energy was still there. It was weak, but it was there. Gohan flew back to the battlefield. He found Vegeta unconscious in a crater. Goku was gone. There was no goodbye, no final words, just an abrupt end. Gohan stood over Vegeta. He felt a surge of anger he had not felt in years. He wanted to end it. He raised his hand. An energy blast formed. He could erase Vegeta right now. He could ensure the peace was kept. Piccolo landed next to him. He put a hand on Gohan's shoulder. He told Gohan not to do it. He said Goku would not want this. Gohan trembled. The energy in his hand buzzed. He looked at the unconscious prince. He extinguished the light. He turned away. He said Vegeta would be watched. He said if Vegeta ever tried anything like this again, he would not hesitate. Weeks turned into months. The world returned to normal. But the Z fighters were fractured. Vegeta lived in isolation. He was ashamed. He had failed to beat Goku even with magic, and then Goku vanished before the fight was finished. The M faded from his head, but the shame did not. He stopped training. He sat in his gravity room and stared at the floor. Gohan continued his routine. He trained. He studied, but something was missing. The victory felt hollow. He had won, but he had lost his father again without saying goodbye. He felt that the universe was fragile. He felt that there were threats out there he did not know about. The Supreme Kai returned one day. He offered Gohan a chance. He said Gohan had great potential. He offered to take Gohan to the sacred world of the Kais. He said there was a legendary sword there, the Z sword. He said if Gohan mastered it, he would be unstoppable. Gohan agreed. He said goodbye to Videl. He said goodbye to his mother. He left Earth. He pulled the sword from the stone. He trained with it. It was heavy. It was difficult. But Gohan was a master of hard work. He swung the sword until his hands bled. During a training accident, the sword snapped. Gohan thought he had failed. But from the broken sword emerged an old Kai. The old Kai was rude. He was strange. But he had a gift. He said he could unlock Gohan's hidden potential. He said Gohan had been drawing power from anger and training. But there was a deeper well of power. A power that did not need Super Saiyan. A power that was natural and limitless. The ultimate form. Gohan sat for the ritual. It took hours. It was boring. But Gohan had patience. When it was done, Gohan stood up. He did not look different. His hair was black. His muscles were the same. But the air around him was heavy. He looked at the old Kai. He powered up. No gold light appeared. No lightning. Just a white, shimmering aura. The power was calm. It was deep, like an ocean. It was terrifying. Gohan had transcended the Super Saiyan. He was something else. He was a mystic warrior. He thanked the Kais. He felt ready for anything. But while Gohan was away, Earth was not safe. A new ship entered the atmosphere. It was not Babidi. It was not an android. It was a small pod. It crashed in the frozen north. The hatch opened. A soldier stepped out. He wore strange armor. He had a scouter. He looked at the readings. He was looking for someone. He was looking for the legendary Super Saiyan who defeated Frieza. This was Sorbet, a remnant of Frieza's army. He had heard rumors of Dragon Balls. He wanted to bring his master back. He found the Dragon Balls quickly. The radar he stole worked perfectly. He summoned Shenron. He made his wish. Bring Lord Frieza back to life. The sky turned dark. The dragon granted the wish. Frieza returned. He was in pieces, chunks of meat and cybernetics. But he was alive. Sorbet put him in a regeneration tank. They left Earth before anyone noticed. Gohan returned to Earth a week later. He felt a lingering coldness in the air. He asked Piccolo if anything happened. Piccolo said the sky turned dark for a moment, but they found no one. They assumed it was a glitch or a minor wish. They did not know that the greatest tyrant in the universe was alive. And this time, Frieza was not going to make the same mistake. Frieza learned that Goku was dead, but he learned that the son, the one who truly defeated him, was alive. Frieza decided to do something he had never done before. He decided to train. 4 months passed. Gohan was mediating by a river. He opened his eyes. He felt it, a power, a massive, malicious power approaching Earth. It felt like Frieza, but it was 1,000 times denser. It was not just strong, it was godlike. A massive spaceship descended over West City. Thousands of soldiers poured out. Gohan flew to the city. He hovered above the army. He crossed his arms. The soldiers fired their blasters. The beams bounced off Gohan's chest. He did not blink. He waved his hand. A gust of wind blew the entire army away. They scattered like leaves. Then, the hatch of the main ship opened. A small hover chair floated out. Frieza sat in it. He looked different. He was smoother. His power was contained. He smiled when he saw Gohan. "Hello, monkey," Frieza said. "I see your father is absent. Good. I wanted to kill you first anyway." Gohan looked at Frieza. He did not feel fear. He felt duty. "Leave now," Gohan said, "or you will die again." Frieza laughed. He stood up. He cracked his neck. "You are confident. I like that. It will make your scream sweeter." Frieza transformed instantly. He skipped his lower forms. He went straight to his final form. But then he went further. He clenched his fists. The ground melted. The city began to disintegrate. Gold light consumed him. When the light faded, Frieza was gold and purple. Golden Frieza. "Behold," Frieza said, "my evolution." Gohan descended. He did not transform. He stayed in his base form, or what looked like his base form. It was his ultimate state. Frieza charged. He was fast, faster than light. He punched Gohan in the face. A normal warrior would have lost their head. Gohan's head snapped back slightly. He slid back a few feet. He wiped a drop of blood from his lip. He looked at Frieza. "Is that it?" Gohan asked. Frieza's eyes widened. He had trained for 4 months. He had attained the power of a god. He expected to crush Gohan. But Gohan had not stopped training for 7 years, and Gohan had his potential unlocked by the old Kai. The gap was not what Frieza thought. They fought. It was brutal. Golden Frieza was strong, but he had a weakness. His stamina drained quickly. He was not used to the form. Gohan, however, had a perfect energy control. He blocked. He countered. He slowly began to overwhelm the tyrant. Frieza started to panic. He fired death beams wildly. Gohan slapped them away. Frieza screamed. He flew into the sky. He prepared to destroy the earth. He gathered all his energy into a massive ball. "If I cannot beat you, I will destroy this planet." Gohan looked up. He knew he could not stop the blast with a physical attack. He needed to overpower it. He cupped his hands. "Ka. Me. Ha. Me." Blue light filled the city. The energy was blinding. Ha. The beam left Gohan's hands. It was massive. It hit Frieza's death ball. It pushed it back. Frieza screamed as his own attack consumed him. The beam engulfed him. It pushed him out of the atmosphere. It pushed him into the sun. Frieza was erased again. Gohan lowered his hands. He breathed out. The threat was gone. But he knew it was not over. Frieza had reached a level of power that rivaled the gods. If Frieza could do it, others could too. Gohan looked at his hands. He needed to be stronger. He could not rest. Just then, a beam of light descended from the sky. It was not an enemy. It was Whis, the angel attendant of Beerus the Destroyer. Whis landed gracefully. He held a staff. He looked at Gohan with interest. "Oh my," Whis said. "You defeated Frieza quite easily." Lord Beerus was sleeping, but he woke up briefly when he felt that gold energy. He sent me to check. Gohan bowed respectfully. "Who are you?" "I am Whis," the angel said. "I see you have great potential, but your technique is crude. You rely on raw power. You lack finesse." Gohan looked at the angel. "Can you teach me?" Whis smiled. "Perhaps, but my training is quite rigorous. And the food on this planet, is it good?" Gohan nodded. "My mother cooks the best food in the world." "Then it is a deal," Whis said. "Pack your bags, boy. We are going to a place where time does not matter." Gohan flew home. He packed a bag. He told Videl he had to go. She understood. She knew he was the shield of the earth. He kissed her goodbye. He hugged Goten. He flew back to Whis. They vanished in a streak of light. Gohan was leaving Earth. He was leaving to train with the gods. He was the protector of Earth, but to protect it, he had to leave it. He did not know that while he was gone, a new timeline was forming in the shadows. A timeline where the absence of Goku and Gohan left a void that something else would try to fill. In the darkness of the future, a green man with a Patara earring looked at a time ring. Zamasu saw the divergence. He saw a mortal reaching the level of gods. He saw Gohan, and he decided that this sinner had to be punished. The Zero Mortals plan would not start with Goku. It would start with the sun. Enter Tuit. Gohan stood on the tip of a needle of rock that floated high above the ground on the planet of the Destroyer God. The air was thin and hot. The gravity was immense. Sweat dripped from Gohan's nose, but he did not move. He stood on one leg with his eyes closed. He was balancing his entire body weight on his big toe. Across from him sat Whis. The angel was eating a cup of instant noodles. He looked relaxed. He did not look like he was training the most powerful mortal in the universe. Whis tapped his staff on the ground. A beam of light shot out. It moved faster than lightning. It aimed for Gohan's chest. Gohan did not open his eyes. He shifted his weight. The beam missed him by a millimeter. He did not think about moving. His body just moved. This was the lesson. To fight without thinking. To let the body react on its own. Gohan had been here for months. He missed Videl and Pan, his new daughter. But he knew the universe was not safe. Frieza had proved that. If he stopped getting stronger, someone else would come. Someone worse. Lord Beerus yawned on a tree stump nearby. He was awake. He watched Gohan with lazy eyes. He had seen many fighters in his millions of years. Most were arrogant. Most wanted power for selfish reasons. But Gohan was different. Gohan did not want power. He wanted safety. He viewed power as a chore. A heavy backpack he had to carry because no one else could lift it. Beerus respected that. He stood up and stretched. He told Whis to stop playing. He wanted to see if the boy had learned anything real. Beerus flew at Gohan. He did not use his full power, but he used enough to crush a planet. He threw a punch. Gohan's eyes snapped open. His aura flared white. He caught Beerus's fist. The shockwave knocked over the trees. Beerus smiled. He spun and kicked. Gohan ducked. Gohan countered with a blast of energy. Beerus slapped it away. They fought for 10 minutes. It was a blur of motion. When they stopped, Gohan was panting. Beerus was not. But Beerus had a smudge of dirt on his cheek. He wiped it off. He nodded. He said Gohan was adequate. That was high praise from a god. Suddenly, Whis' staff began to glow. A siren sound came from the crystal ball on top of it. It was an emergency call from Earth. It was Bulma. Her voice was shaking. She screamed for Vegeta. She screamed for Gohan. She said a time machine had just crashed in her backyard. She said Trunks was inside. He was hurt. He was barely alive. And the energy she felt on him was familiar. It felt like death. Gohan and Vegeta looked at each other. Vegeta had been training in a different part of the planet. He flew over instantly. He grabbed Gohan's shoulder. He told Whis to send them back. Whis tapped his staff. They traveled through the warp tunnel. Colors streamed past them. They landed at Capsule Corp in seconds. The grass was burned. A crater smoked in the garden. The mossy, battered time machine sat in the hole. The glass was cracked. Bulma was pulling Trunks out of the cockpit. This was future Trunks. He was older now. His hair was blue like his mother's. His clothes were torn. He was covered in dried blood. He looked like he had been fighting a war for years. Gohan ran to him. He grabbed a senzu bean from the pouch he always carried. He crunched it and fed it to Trunks. Trunks swallowed. His wounds began to heal. His eyes fluttered open. He saw a blurry figure standing over him. He saw the orange ki eye. He saw the face. Trunks screamed. He threw a punch at Gohan's face. Gohan caught the fist easily. He looked confused. He called Trunks' name. He asked what was wrong. Trunks blinked. He focused. He saw that Gohan's eyes were kind. They were not the cold, red eyes of the monster. Trunks collapsed into Gohan's arms. He started to cry. He was a grown man, a veteran warrior, but he sobbed like a child. He apologized. He said he thought Gohan was him. He said he thought the darkness had followed him. Vegeta stood back. He crossed his arms. He hated seeing his son so weak, but he felt the terror in Trunks' spirit. Whatever had happened in the future was worse than the androids, worse than Cell. They moved Trunks inside. They gave him food. He ate quickly. His hands shook. He told them the story. He said the future was dead. He said a man appeared out of black clouds one day. This man called himself a god. He said he was there to punish mortals for their sins. He killed Bulma of the future. He killed the resistance soldiers. He destroyed the cities. Trunks tried to fight him. He went Super Saiyan. He went Super Saiyan too. It did not matter. The enemy was too strong. And the worst part was not the power. It was the face. The enemy wore the face of the greatest hero. The enemy looked exactly like Gohan. The room went silent. Present Gohan stared at the table. He felt sick. Someone was using his face to kill people. Someone was using his body to destroy the world he died to save in that timeline. Trunks looked at Gohan. He said they called him Gohan Black. He wore black clothes. He wore a single green earring. And he could turn into a Super Saiyan. But the hair was not gold. It was a sickly pink rose color. Vegeta slammed his fist on the table. He said it was an insult. He said a Saiyan's body was not a toy for body snatchers. He demanded to know who was inside. Just then, the sky outside turned black. Thunder cracked without rain. A purple rift opened in the air above the garden. A dark wind blew the trees flat. Lightning struck the ground. From the portal, a figure descended. He wore a black guy with red trim. He wore a green earring on his left ear. He had spiky black hair. He had Gohan's face, but his eyes were sharp and cruel. He smiled. It was a smile that promised pain. He looked down at the group. He spotted Trunks. He laughed. He said the time ring had reacted to the distortion. He said he found the rat hiding in the past. Future Trunks drew his sword. He was terrified, but he stood up. Present Gohan stood up too. He walked out into the garden. He floated up to meet the imposter. It was like looking in a twisted mirror. Gohan Black looked at present Gohan. He tilted his head. He seemed impressed. He said this body was strong. He said in this timeline the vessel was well maintained. He said it was an honor to meet the donor. Present Gohan did not smile. He did not ask questions. He powered up. The white ultimate aura exploded around him. The ground shook. Gohan Black clapped his hands. He said he wanted to test this power. He formed a blade of purple energy around his hand. He rushed forward. The two Gohans collided. The sound was deafening. They traded blows. Present Gohan was faster. He had been training with Whis. He blocked the energy blade. He punched Black in the stomach. Black flew back. He wiped blood from his mouth. He laughed. He said this pain was delicious. He said this body grew stronger with every injury. He powered up. A dark purple aura surrounded him. He attacked again. Vegeta watched from the ground. He analyzed the fight. Black was strong, but he was not using God Ki yet. He was just using raw Saiyan power amplified by a divine soul. Present Gohan was winning. Gohan kicked Black into the ground. He fired a Kamehameha. Black crossed his arms. The blast hit him. He was pushed back toward the time rift. The portal was closing. Black realized he was being pulled back. He looked at the time machine. He fired a blast to destroy it. Present Gohan saw it coming. He deflected the blast with his hand. The time machine was safe. Black was sucked back into the portal. The rift vanished. The sky turned blue again. The threat was gone, but the mystery was deeper. Whis and Beerus arrived. They had been watching. Whis looked at the energy signature left behind. He said it felt like a Kai. He said it felt very similar to a specific Kai apprentice in Universe 10 named Zamasu. Gohan clenched his fists. He said they had to go to Universe 10. He had to know the truth. Beerus agreed. He did not like Kai's messing with time. They traveled to Universe 10. They met Gowasu, the Supreme Kai, and his student Zamasu. Zamasu was a green man with the white hair. He was polite. He served tea. But Gohan saw the way Zamasu looked at him. It was a look of disgust. Zamasu hated mortals. He hated that a mortal like Gohan could be stronger than a god. Gohan asked Zamasu to spar. Zamasu agreed. They fought. Gohan won easily. He held his fist an inch from Zamasu's face. He felt Zamasu's energy. It was the same as Black's. The coldness was identical. Gohan lowered his hand. He knew. This man was the enemy, but he had not done anything yet. They could not kill him for a crime he had not committed. They left Universe 10, but the seed was planted. Zamasu watched them leave. He was humiliated. His hatred boiled over. He decided to act. He would not just kill mortals. He would become the strongest mortal to do it. He would use the Super Dragon Balls. Back on Earth, Bulma fixed the time machine. It took her a week. During that week, Vegeta trained Trunks. He beat him mercilessly in the gravity chamber. He told Trunks that crying would not save the future. He told Trunks to find his anger. Gohan prepared himself mentally. He meditated. He knew going to the future would be dangerous. He was leaving his family behind again, but he had to stop the monster wearing his face. The time machine was ready. There was only enough fuel for a round trip. Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks squeezed inside. They waved goodbye to Bulma. They vanished. They traveled through the dark tunnel of time. They emerged in the future. The city was a ruin. The sky was green and choked with smoke. Buildings lay toppled like broken toys. There was no life, no birds, no people, just wind and dust. They flew to the ruins of the capsule corps. They found Trunks' resistance base. It was empty. A few ragged soldiers came out of hiding. They saw Gohan and raised their guns. They thought he was black. Trunks stopped them. He explained this was the good Gohan from the past. The soldiers lowered their guns. They looked at Gohan with awe. He was a ghost to them. The Gohan of their world had died in a puddle of rain years ago, fighting the androids. Seeing him alive and strong gave them hope. One soldier gave Gohan a small, dirty doll. It belonged to a child who had been killed. Gohan took the doll. He squeezed it. His face hardened. He was not here to be a symbol. He was here to be an executioner. Vegeta sensed the energy. "He's coming," Vegeta said. On top of a ruined skyscraper, Gohan Black stood waiting. But he was not alone. Beside him stood Zamasu, the Zamasu of this future timeline. They were partners. One had the body. The other had the immortality. They looked down at the three Saiyans. Black clapped slowly. He welcomed them to his utopia. He said this world was beautiful because it was empty of human filth. Vegeta stepped up first. He went Super Saiyan Blue. The teal aura lit up the gloom. "I will take the fake," Vegeta said. "I'm sick of looking at his face." Vegeta charged Black. He punched Black hard in the face. Black flew back. Vegeta did not let up. He hammered Black into the ground. He was faster and stronger. The blue form was superior to Black's base form. But Black just laughed. He stood up. He wiped blood away. He said he had learned from their last fight. He said his body remembered the pain. He clenched his fists. The atmosphere turned heavy. Black smoke poured out of him. It turned pink. A pillar of dark light shot into the sky. When the light faded, Black had pink hair. Super Saiyan rose. "This is the color of your doom," Black said. Vegeta attacked again. But this time, Black was faster. He created a keyblade. He stabbed Vegeta through the chest. It was not a fatal blow, but it was crippling. Vegeta coughed blood. He fell to his knees. Black kicked him away. Trunks screamed and rushed in. Zamasu stepped forward. Trunks sliced Zamasu in half with his sword, but Zamasu just knitted back together. He was immortal. He laughed and blasted Trunks into a wall. Now it was Gohan's turn. Present Gohan walked forward. He did not transform into a color. He just powered up his ultimate form to its maximum. The white aura became jagged with sparks of lightning. He looked at Black. "You stole my body," Gohan said. "You stole my life. You killed my friends. I will make you regret it." Gohan and Black collided. The shockwave leveled the remaining buildings in the city. They fought in the sky. It was a battle of equals. Black had the divine transformation. Gohan had the years of limit-breaking training. They punched each other at the same time. The impact shattered glass for miles. Gohan grabbed Black's arm. He threw him into a building. He fired a Masenko. The building vaporized. Black flew out of the smoke. He fired a Black Kamehameha. Gohan blocked it, but the numbers were against them. Zamasu joined the fight. He attacked Gohan from behind while Gohan was locked with Black. Gohan took the hit. He stumbled. Black capitalized. He slashed Gohan's back with his energy blade. Gohan cried out. He fell toward the ground. Trunks tried to help, but he was weak. Vegeta was bleeding out. They were losing. The enemy was too coordinated. One was immortal, the other got stronger with every hit. Black descended. He charged a massive ball of energy. He prepared to kill them all. Mai, the leader of the resistance, threw a flash grenade. It was a desperate move. The light blinded Black and Zamasu for a second. Vegeta grabbed Gohan and Trunks. They scrambled to the time machine. They threw themselves inside. Trunks hit the button. The machine dematerialized just as Black's blast hit the spot where they had been. They landed back in the past. They crashed on the grass. The time machine smoked. Bulma ran out. She screamed. They were alive, but they were broken. Gohan crawled out. His gi was slashed. His back was bleeding. He punched the grass. He had lost. He had failed. He had let the monster win. They spent days recovering. The mood was grim. They knew what they were up against now, an immortal god and a Saiyan with limitless growth. They needed a plan. They could not just punch harder. Beerus and Whis came to visit. They had dealt with the Zamasu of the present timeline. Beerus had destroyed him. He said the future should be fixed now. But Trunks explained that the time ring protected Black. The future was unchanged. Piccolo had an idea. He suggested the Mafuba, the evil containment wave. It was a technique to seal away demons. It could work on Zamasu. If they could not kill him, they could trap him. Trunks decided to learn it. He practiced with a jar and a video of Piccolo. Gohan did not practice magic. He went to the Room of Spirit and Time. He took Vegeta with him. They had 1 day, 1 year inside. Inside the white void, Gohan and Vegeta did not speak much. They fought. They pushed each other to the brink of death. Vegeta was angry. He felt he had been surpassed by Black. He hated that a fake version of Kakarot's son was stronger than him. Gohan was quiet. He was focusing on his anger. He needed to be sharper. He realized that Black was using his body's potential better than he was. Black was cruel. Black did not hesitate. Gohan had to learn that ruthlessness. He had to stop fighting like a protector and start fighting like a destroyer. When they emerged, they were different. Their power had not grown massively in volume, but it was sharper, denser. They were ready to go back. They returned to the future. The city was even worse. The few survivors were almost gone. Black and Zamasu were waiting. They sat on a throne of rubble. They drank tea. They looked bored. "Back for more?" Black asked. "I must admit, I missed the entertainment." Vegeta stepped up. He did not rush. He walked. He turned Super Saiyan blue. But this time, he did not leak energy. He kept it all inside. He pointed at Black. "I am the prince of all Saiyans," Vegeta said. "And you are just a thief in a stolen costume." Vegeta fought Black. This time, Vegeta was winning. He pummeled Black. He broke Black's nose. He showed Black the difference between a stolen body and a body built by a lifetime of pride. Meanwhile, Trunks and Gohan fought Zamasu. Trunks used the Mafuba. He caught Zamasu in the whirlwind. He shoved him into the jar. He put the lid on. He shouted for the talisman to seal it, but they had forgotten the seal. They left it in the past. The jar shook. Zamasu broke out. He was furious. He was scared. He realized mortals were a real threat. He looked at Black. Black was losing to Vegeta. They nodded to each other. They decided to stop playing. They flew into the sky. They took off their earrings. They switched ears. "Form and power," Black said. "Justice and order," Zamasu said. They merged. A blinding white light consumed the world. A halo appeared in the sky. A new god was born, fused Zamasu. He had the green skin of a Kai, the spiky white hair of a Super Saiyan, and the face of Gohan. He was beautiful and terrible. His voice echoed like a choir. "My form is justice. My form is the world. Revere me. Praise me." He lifted a finger. Blades of red light rained down. They hit everything. The resistance soldiers were vaporized. The buildings were turned to dust. Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks were pinned to the ground. The pressure was crushing. This was not a fight anymore. This was a judgment. Gohan struggled to stand. His bones creaked. He looked up at the god. He refused to kneel. He burned his energy. He pushed back the pressure. He stood up. "You are not a god," Gohan shouted. "You are just a bully with a big vocabulary." Fused Zamasu frowned. "Insolence." He fired a bolt of holy lightning. It struck Gohan. Gohan screamed. His skin burned. But he did not fall. He walked forward. He thought about his wife. He thought about his daughter. He thought about the timeline where his father died to give him a chance. He would not waste it. "Vegeta, Trunks," Gohan yelled. "Give me your energy." It was a gamble. They didn't have Patara earrings. They couldn't fuse, but they could share power. Vegeta hesitated. He hated helping, but he saw the monster. He saw the end. He put his hand on Gohan's back. Trunks did the same. They poured everything they had into Gohan. Gohan's aura changed. It was no longer just white. It gained the blue tint of Vegeta's God Kai and the gold tint of Trunks' rage. It became a prism of colors. Gohan felt his limits shatter. He flew up. He met the god in the sky. He punched Zamasu in the face. The halo behind Zamasu cracked. The god looked shocked. His face distorted. The purple half of his face, the mortal half, began to rot. The fusion was unstable. Gohan did not stop. He hammered the god. Every punch was a thunderclap. "This is for Trunks," punch. "This is for the future," punch. "This is for my father," punch. Zamasu screamed. He summoned a massive bird of lightning. Gohan tore through it. He summoned a blade of ki. Gohan caught it and broke it. Gohan was a demon of vengeance. He gathered all the energy into his right fist. He flew higher. He dove down. Kamehameha. He didn't fire the beam. He held the energy in his hand. He slammed the ball of light directly into Zamasu's chest. The explosion was absolute. It engulfed the god. Zamasu shrieked as his body disintegrated. The light swallowed the sky. Gohan fell from the air. He hit the ground hard. He was empty. He had nothing left. The sky cleared. The dust settled. Zamasu was gone. There was no trace of him. No body. No energy. Just silence. Trunks limped over. He helped Gohan up. Vegeta stood nearby, holding his arm. They had won. The future was saved. It was broken, but it was free. Suddenly, the sky began to laugh. It was not a sound from a mouth. It was the sound of the universe cracking. The clouds turned into faces. Zamasu's faces, millions of them. He had cast off his body. He was becoming the universe itself. His essence was spreading. He was infecting reality. Beams of red light shot down from the smiling clouds. They hit the survivors. The few resistance members who had hidden in the caves were vaporized. The earth itself began to crack. Gohan looked up in horror. He had destroyed the body, but the mind was a virus. He could not punch the sky. He could not fight a concept. They were going to die. The entire timeline was going to die. Gohan reached into his pocket. He felt a small button. The Zeno button. The Omni King had given it to Goku in the main timeline. But here, Goku was dead. Wait, Gohan didn't have the button. Goku never met Zeno in this timeline. The tournament against Universe 6 happened differently, or not at all. No. Gohan defeated Frieza, then went to Whis. He likely met Zeno during a visit or warning. Or perhaps they had no button. They had no button. Gohan looked to the sky. The darkness was descending. He looked at Trunks. "Go," Gohan said. "Get in the time machine, you and Mai. Go now." "What about you?" Trunks screamed. "I will hold it back," Gohan said. He flared his energy one last time. It was a flickering candle against a storm. I will buy you time. Go. Vegeta grabbed Trunks. He threw him into the machine. He grabbed Mai. He shoved her in. Vegeta looked at Gohan. For the first time, Vegeta showed respect. Do not die, Gohan. Vegeta jumped in. The machine powered up. Gohan flew into the sky. He fired blasts at the laughing faces. Did nothing. The red light swallowed him. The time machine vanished just as the world collapsed. Gohan was consumed by the darkness. His vision went black. He felt his body tearing apart. He failed. He destroyed the body, but he lost the war. The future timeline was erased. Everything was gone. Gohan floated in a void. He was not dead, but he was not alive. He was drifting in the crack between dimensions. He had saved 3 lives, but lost a universe. Suddenly, a bright light appeared in the void. A small, childlike figure floated toward him. It was the Grand Priest. He looked at Gohan's floating body. He smiled. You are interesting, the Grand Priest said. You should not exist here, but your will is strong. My master might like you. The Grand Priest snapped his fingers. Gohan vanished from the void. Gohan woke up on a floor made of cold, polished tile. The light was blindingly bright. He blinked and sat up. His body ached. He felt heavy, as if the gravity was different here. He looked around. He was not in a void anymore. He was in a palace. There were giant pillars that floated in the air. The sky outside was full of swirling galaxies. It was beautiful and terrifying. He stood up and checked his body. His clothes were torn, but his wounds were gone. He was healed. He remembered the red light. He remembered the faces in the sky. He remembered the future being erased. He clenched his fists. He had failed to save the timeline, but he had saved Trunks and Mai. That had to be enough. A small man in blue clothes floated down to him. It was the Grand Priest. He smiled a polite, chilly smile. He told Gohan that he was in the palace of the Omni King. He said that Gohan was the only mortal to ever survive the erasure of a timeline by standing inside it. He said his survival was an anomaly. The Grand Priest explained that the Omni King, Zeno, had been watching. Zeno found Gohan's struggle amusing. He liked how Gohan fought against the inevitable. Because of this, Gohan was spared. But there was a price. The Grand Priest said the multiverse was cluttered. There were too many universes with weak mortals. Zeno wanted to clean them up. He had planned to erase 8 of the 12 universes instantly. But because Gohan showed such spirit, Zeno decided to give them a chance. A fighting chance. Gohan felt a knot in his stomach. He asked what the chance was. The Grand Priest said they would hold a tournament of power. 8 universes would compete. 10 warriors from each universe. 1 arena. 48 minutes. The losing universes would be erased from existence. Not just the planets, but the people, the gods, everything. It would be as if they never existed. Gohan was horrified. He asked about Universe 7, his home. The Grand Priest nodded. Universe 7 was on the list. It had a low mortal level. If they lost, Earth would vanish. Pan would vanish. Videl would vanish. Everything Gohan fought for would be gone. Gohan looked at the Grand Priest. He accepted the challenge. He had no choice. The Grand Priest tapped his staff. The scenery changed instantly. Gohan was standing on the grass at Capsule Corp. It was night. The air was cool. Vegeta was sitting on a rock, staring at the ground. Bulma was crying softly. Future Trunks was leaning against the time machine, looking hollow. They thought Gohan was dead. They thought he had died in the future. Gohan walked forward. He said he was back. Vegeta's head snapped up. He looked at Gohan like he was seeing a ghost. He ran over and punched Gohan in the arm. It was not a hard punch. It was a brotherly punch. He asked how Gohan survived. Gohan explained everything. He told them about Zeno. He told them about the tournament. The relief in the group turned to ice. They had 40 hours to gather 10 warriors. If they failed, they died. Gohan took charge. He was not the reluctant scholar anymore. He was the survivor of the apocalypse. He told Vegeta to get ready. He told future Trunks that he could not rest yet. Trunks agreed. He had nowhere to go. His timeline was gone. He would fight for this one. That was 3 warriors. They needed 7 more. Gohan flew to the lookout. He asked Piccolo. The Namekian agreed instantly. He had been training alone, waiting for Gohan to return. He sensed the change in Gohan. Gohan was sharper, harder. They recruited Krillin and Android 18. Krillin was scared. He knew he was weak compared to the Saiyans. But Gohan told him this was not just about power. It was about teamwork. It was about survival. Gohan trusted Krillin's mind. They went to find Android 17. He was a park ranger on an island. He did not want to leave his animals. Gohan fought him. They sparred in the sky. 17 was strong. He had been training in secret for years. He was on par with Super Saiyan Blue. Gohan managed to convince him by promising a wish on the Super Dragon Balls to protect nature. 17 agreed. That was 6. They found Tien and Master Roshi. Roshi was old, but he had secret techniques. He had wisdom. Tien was a warrior of discipline. That was 8. They needed 2 more. They thought about Majin Buu, but Buu had fallen into a deep hibernation and would not wake up for months. They were short 2 fighters. Vegeta suggested they go with 8 and fight harder. Gohan said no. The rules were strict. They needed 10. Gohan looked at the sky. He thought of his father. Goku had been dead for years, but Baba the Witch could bring a dead person back for 24 hours. It was a risk. Goku had not been part of the recent battles. He did not know about Golden Frieza or Zamasu. But he was Goku. He was the heart of the team. Gohan went to Baba. She agreed. She performed the ritual. A halo appeared. Then Son Goku appeared. He looked exactly the same as the day he died. He was happy. He stretched his arms. He saw Gohan and his jaw dropped. He sensed Gohan's power. It was massive. It was far beyond what Goku remembered. Gohan hugged his father. It was a tight hug. Goku laughed and patted Gohan's back. He said he was proud. He said he had been watching from other world, but the connection was fuzzy during the timeline's breach. Gohan told him the situation. Goku got serious. He was ready. That was 9. They needed 1 more. There was a silence in the group. They had the strongest heroes. Who was left? Future Trunks looked at Gohan. He suggested someone unexpected. He suggested the android 16 from the present timeline. But 16 was dead. He was destroyed by Cell. They could not bring back a machine with Baba's magic. Bulma stepped in. She said she had the blueprints. She had been working on a defense robot based on 16's design, but stronger. It wasn't the real 16, but a new model. Android 16, Beta. It had no soul, but it had raw power and infinite stamina. Gohan hesitated. He remembered 16's death. It was the trigger for his first transformation. He nodded. A robot would follow orders. It would not panic. The team was set. Gohan, Vegeta, Future Trunks, Goku, Piccolo, Android 17, Android 18, Krillin, Tien, Master Roshi. They stood in a circle. They held hands. The Grand Priest called to them. They vanished in a beam of light. They reappeared in the world of void. It was a place of nothingness. A giant spinning top hovered in the middle of infinite darkness. The gravity was heavy. The air was dry. Warriors from other universes were arriving. Some were huge monsters, Some were robots. Some looked like magical girls. Gohan scanned the area. He saw Universe 6. He saw Hit, the assassin. He saw Saiyans from that universe, a girl named Cauliflower and a timid girl named Kyle. He saw Universe 11. They wore red and black uniforms. They were the Pride Troopers. Standing in the back was a grey alien with big black eyes. Jiren. Gohan felt a chill. Jiren did not have an aura. He was like a black hole. He just stood there, and the void seemed to bend around him. The Grand Priest announced the rules. No killing, no weapons, no flying unless you had wings. Knock the enemy off the stage. The pillar in the center began to descend. The time limit was set. The tournament began. It was chaos. Explosions rocked the arena. Lasers flew everywhere. Most teams split up. Universe 7 stayed together. Gohan shouted orders. He adopted a turtle formation. Goku wanted to run off and fight strong guys, but Gohan grabbed his arm. He told his father to stick to the plan. Goku looked at Gohan. He saw the authority in his son's eyes. He nodded. He followed Gohan's lead. This was Gohan's war. Universe 9 attacked them first. They were wolves. They were fast and tricky. They used poison and coordination. In the original timeline, Goku and Vegeta struggled because they were reckless. Here, Gohan directed the team like a conductor. He had Piccolo and Tien use blinding lights to confuse the wolves. He had 17 and 18 cover the flanks with infinite energy barriers. Gohan and Vegeta struck through the middle. They dismantled Universe 9 systematically. They knocked the wolves off one by one. It took 5 minutes. Universe 9 was eliminated. The Xenos raised their hands. Universe 9 vanished. The gods, the chatter, the energy. Gone. The reality hit everyone. This was not a game. Goku stopped smiling. He realized that Gohan was right. They had to be perfect. The battle raged on. Krillin was knocked off by a sneak attack from a Universe 6 fighter, Frost. Frost was like Frieza. He was tricky. 18 was furious. She chased Frost and blasted him out of the ring. Krillin was out, but he had saved 18 earlier. He had done his job. Gohan found himself fighting the Namekians from Universe 6. They were strong. They had fused with all the other Namekians on their planet. It was 2 against 2. Gohan and Piccolo versus Saunel and Purina. It was a battle of mirrored techniques. Piccolo saw his own culture in them. He respected them, but he had to erase them. Gohan used his ultimate speed to get behind them. He charged a special beam cannon. Piccolo charged one too. They fired together. The crossfire blew the Universe 6 Namekians out of the ring. Gohan apologized to them as they fell. He respected their sacrifice. Meanwhile, Vegeta and future Trunks were fighting together. It was a sight to see. Father and son from 2 different times, fighting side by side. Trunks used his sword of energy. Vegeta used his raw power. They cut a path through the arena. They fought a giant robot from Universe 3. They merged their blasts, a garlic gun and a burning attack. The robot exploded. They were unstoppable. But the heavy hitters were starting to move. In the center of the arena, Goku found Jiren. Goku was itching for a fight. He turned Super Saiyan 2. He punched Jiren. Jiren didn't blink. Goku turned Super Saiyan 3. His long hair flowed. He was fast. He hit Jiren with everything he had. Jiren blocked with one finger. Goku was outmatched. He didn't have the Super Saiyan Blue form. He didn't have God Ki. He was a master of the old ways, but the new power scaling was too high. Jiren punched Goku in the gut. The shockwave flew out of Goku's back. Goku fell to his knees. He gasped for air. He was done. Jiren grabbed Goku by the hair. He was about to throw him off. Suddenly, a boot kicked Jiren in the face. Jiren slid back a few inches. He looked up. It was Gohan. Gohan stood over his father. His white aura was flaring. He told Jiren to let him go. Jiren looked at Gohan. He said Gohan was strong, but not strong enough. Jiren threw a punch. Gohan blocked it with his forearm. The bone cracked, but Gohan didn't move. He swept Jiren's legs. Jiren floated up to avoid it. They exchanged blows. Gohan was faster than Goku, stronger than Vegeta. He was fighting the strongest mortal in the multiverse. While they fought, other universes were falling. Universe 10 was erased. Universe 2 was erased. Master Roshi fell off the stage after using the evil containment wave to trap a dangerous enemy. Tien sacrificed himself to take out a sniper. The numbers were dropping. Universe 7 had 6 fighters left. Gohan, Vegeta, Future Trunks, Goku, 17, and Frieza. No, wait. Frieza wasn't there. It was Piccolo. Jiren grew bored. He decided to end it. He powered up. His aura turned red and hot. He pushed Gohan back. He fired a blast that engulfed the arena. Gohan held it back with a Kamehameha, but he was slipping. Vegeta and Trunks jumped in. They added their blast to Gohan's. It was a 3-way beam struggle. Jiren glared. He pushed harder. The beam swallowed the 3 Saiyans. An explosion rocked the world of void. When the smoke cleared, Trunks was lying on the edge of the arena, unconscious. He was barely safe. Vegeta was on one knee, panting. Gohan was standing, but his gi was gone from the waist up. He was bleeding. Jiren was untouched. Jiren said it was over. He walked toward them. Suddenly, a strange heat filled the air. It was not coming from Jiren. It was coming from the rubble. Goku stood up, but he was different. He had absorbed the energy of the spirit bomb that he had tried and failed to throw earlier. No, he hadn't thrown a spirit bomb. He had absorbed the ambient energy of the 3-way clash. His body was reacting. His eyes were silver. He moved. He didn't think. He just moved. Ultra Instinct Omen. Goku vanished. He kicked Jiren in the stomach. Jiren gasped. The gods stood up. They had never seen a mortal move like that. Goku roared. He fought Jiren. It was a stalemate. But Goku's form was unstable. He hadn't trained for this. His body was dead. It couldn't handle the strain of divine technique. The silver light flickered. Goku landed a massive punch, but then his back exploded with blood. The form broke. Goku collapsed. He was completely drained. He was helpless. Jiren raised his hand to finish Goku. Gohan tackled Jiren. He slammed Jiren into a rock. Gohan screamed at 17 to help Goku. 17 ran over and dragged Goku to safety. Gohan stood alone against Jiren. He knew he couldn't win with power. Jiren was a wall. Gohan had to be the water that eroded the wall. He had to be smarter. Gohan closed his eyes. He remembered Whis' training. Don't think, just be. But he also remembered his own life, the anger, the loss. He realized that Ultra Instinct was not his path. That was Goku's path, letting go of emotion. Gohan's path was different. Gohan's power came from emotion. He needed to feel everything. The pain of Trunks, the death of Videl in a potential future, the love for Pan. He needed to bottle it, compress it, and turn it into a weapon. He opened his eyes. They were not silver. They were red, deep, blood red. His hair grew slightly longer and turned a greyish silver. His aura turned into a violent storm of red and purple. It was not a divine form. It was a primal one. Beast Gohan. The pressure cracked the floor of the infinite void. The Grand Priest looked intrigued. This was not a technique of the angels. This was the evolution of a human-Saiyan hybrid. Jiren stepped back. For the first time, he felt uncertainty. Gohan did not roar. He did not scream. He just looked at Jiren with the eyes of a predator. "You seek strength above all else," Gohan said. His voice was two voices layered together. "I seek only to protect. And to protect them, I will break you." Gohan vanished. He appeared instantly in front of Jiren. He punched Jiren in the chest. Jiren flew across the arena. He crashed through 3 pillars. Jiren roared and flew back. They collided in the center. The impact shattered the dimensions around them for a second. Purple glass rained from the sky. They traded blows. Gohan took a punch to the face and didn't blink. He headbutted Jiren. Jiren staggered. Gohan kicked him into the sky. Vegeta watched from the ground. He was amazed. He realized that Gohan had finally done it. He had surpassed them all. He had found a power that belonged only to him. But the time was running out. Only 2 minutes remained. Jiren was strong. He was not going down easily. He ripped his shirt off. He unleashed his hidden power. He became a burning sun. He fought back. He pushed Gohan to the edge. They were both tired. They were both breaking. Toppo, the second strongest of Universe 11, interfered. He shot a blast of destruction energy at Gohan's back. 17 intercepted it. 17 shielded Gohan. The blast exploded. 17 fell. He was out of energy. He looked at Gohan. He gave a thumbs up. He dropped off the edge of the arena to avoid being a burden. 17 was eliminated. Now it was Gohan, Vegeta, Goku, barely conscious, Piccolo, and future Trunks against Jiren and Toppo. Vegeta stood up. He looked at Toppo. "I will handle the second fiddle," Vegeta said. "Go, Gohan." Vegeta charged Toppo. He used his final explosion technique. He poured all his life force into it. He blasted Toppo off the stage. Vegeta survived, but he was blue. He turned into stone-grey exhaustion. He fell off the stage. Vegeta was eliminated. It was Gohan versus Jiren. 1 minute left. The arena was crumbling. Gohan charged a special beam cannon. No, that was Piccolo's move. He charged a Masenko. Jiren charged a power impact. They fired. The beams clashed. It was a stalemate. Gohan pushed. Jiren pushed. Goku woke up. He saw his son fighting. He saw the struggle. He couldn't stand. He couldn't transform. But he could help. He crawled to the edge. He aimed his hand at Gohan. He gave the last drop of his energy. Piccolo did the same. Future Trunks did the same. Gohan felt the energy. It wasn't much, but it was enough. The red aura flared. The Masenko grew larger. It swallowed Jiren's blast. It hit Jiren. Jiren tried to hold it back. He thought of his past, his trauma. He screamed, but Gohan's will was stronger. The beam pushed Jiren. It pushed him to the edge. The ground broke. Jiren fell. He dropped into the void. He appeared in the spectator stands. He was eliminated. Universe 11 was defeated. The Grand Priest announced the winner. Universe 7. The Xenos cheered. They raised their hands. Universe 11 vanished. Jiren looked at Gohan one last time before he disappeared. He looked at peace. He finally understood that strength in solitude was weakness. Gohan stood alone in the ruined arena. He dropped to his knees. His red hair faded back to black. He was victorious. The Super Dragon Balls appeared in the sky. They were planet-sized. The Super Dragon, Super Shenron, was summoned. He filled the entire void. He asked for the wish. The team gathered around Gohan. They won. They survived. Gohan looked at the dragon. He looked at the empty spots where the other universes used to be. He thought about the Universe 6 Namekians. He thought about the wolves. He thought about Jiren. He knew what he had to do. He knew what a hero would do. "Restore all the erased universes," Gohan shouted. The dragon's eyes glowed. "Your wish is granted." A golden light swept across the void. The universes returned. The gods returned. Jiren returned. Hit returned. They were all back. The Grand Priest smiled. He looked at Zeno. Zeno nodded. They had expected this. They wanted to see if mortals were capable of virtue. If Gohan had wished for money or power, Zeno would have erased everything. But Gohan passed the test. The tournament was over. The fighters were sent home. They landed at Capsule Corp. It was morning. The sun was rising. They were alive. Goku looked at his hands. His halo flickered. His 24 hours were up. He looked at Gohan. He smiled. "You did it, son. You're the strongest in the universe." Gohan cried. He hugged his father. "I missed you, Dad." "I'm always with you," Goku said. He began to fade. "Take care of them." Goku vanished. He went back to the other world. Gohan wiped his eyes. He looked at Vegeta. He looked at Trunks. He looked at his wife and daughter running out of the house. He had saved them. He had saved everyone. But deep in space, a new threat was stirring. The energy from the wish had rippled through the cosmos. It had awakened something ancient, something that had been sealed away by the gods before time began. A wizard named Moro opened his eyes. He smelled the energy. He smelled a feast. And he was hungry. Peace did not last long. It never did for the Sun family. 2 months after the Tournament of Power, a spaceship shaped like a squid landed in Gohan's front yard. It crushed the flower bed he had just planted. Gohan sighed. He was wearing his glasses and a sweater. He was reading a book about insect biology to Pan. Pan was floating near the ceiling, giggling. Gohan put the book down. He sensed the energy inside the ship. It was not malicious, but it was frantic. The hatch opened. A small purple alien with big yellow eyes fell out. It was Jacko, the galactic patrolman. He looked terrible. His uniform was scorched. He crawled toward Gohan and grabbed his leg. He begged for help. He said a prisoner had escaped. A prisoner so old and dangerous that the Grand Supreme Kai had locked him away 10 million years ago. His name was Moro, and he was an eater of worlds. Gohan picked Jacko up. He asked where this Moro was. Jacko pulled out a device. He showed a holographic map. A red dot was moving fast toward New Namek. Gohan went cold. He knew why. The Dragon Balls. Moro wanted a wish. Gohan looked at the sky. He could not call his father. Goku was dead. He was in the other world. Gohan was the shield now. He had to act. He called Vegeta. Vegeta arrived in seconds. He was wearing his battle armor. He had been waiting for a fight. He was bored of peace. He saw the map. He nodded. Namek was like a second home to them. They could not let it burn again. They took a Capsule Corp spaceship. It was faster than Jacko's ship. They flew to New Namek. The journey took 3 days. In those 3 days, Gohan meditated. He thought about the beast form. It was a power born of rage, but rage was messy. Rage made you blind. He needed to control it. He needed to be able to turn it on and off like a light switch. Vegeta sat in the gravity chamber. He was quiet. Since the tournament, Vegeta had changed. He had seen Gohan surpass him. He had seen Goku surpass him. He realized that chasing raw power was a dead end. He needed a new path. He had been reading ancient texts about spirit control. He was trying to learn something that did not involve screaming. They landed on New Namek. The sky was green. The grass was blue. But there was smoke. Villages were burning. The Namekians lay on the ground, dried up like husks. Their life energy was gone. Moro was here. Gohan flew to the center of the destruction. He saw him. Moro was a tall, goat-like wizard. He wore red robes. He had curved horns. He held a Namekian child by the neck. He was draining the child's energy. The child turned grey and fell limp. Moro threw the body aside. He licked his lips. He looked at Gohan and Vegeta. He smiled. He said he smelled a premium meal. Gohan did not speak. He did not ask for reasons. He just attacked. He moved instantly. He punched Moro in the face. Moro flew back, crashing into a cliff. Gohan pursued. He did not transform yet. He used his ultimate state. He was fast. He hammered Moro with kicks and punches. Moro laughed. He blocked Gohan's fist with one hand. He said Gohan had a lot of energy. He said it was delicious. Moro opened his mouth. A strange wind began to pull at Gohan. Gohan fell weak. His knees buckled. His energy was leaving his body. It was flowing into Moro. Vegeta jumped in. He turned Super Saiyan God. The red form was faster and used less energy. He kicked Moro away. He grabbed Gohan. He shouted that they had to keep moving. He said Moro was a parasite. If they stood still, he would drain them dry. Moro stood up. He looked younger. His beard was shorter. His muscles were bigger. The energy he stole made him stronger. He raised his hand. The ground shook. Sharp spikes of energy erupted from the earth. Gohan and Vegeta dodged. They fired energy blasts. Moro ate the blasts. He swallowed them whole. He burped. He said their attacks only made him hungrier. They fought for an hour. It was a losing battle. Every time they powered up, Moro drained them. Gohan tried to go beast, but the transformation required too much energy. As soon as the red aura appeared, Moro sucked it away. Gohan reverted to his base form. He was panting. He was dizzy. Vegeta was on the ground. His blue armor was cracked. Moro stood over them. He was young now. He had restored his prime youth. He had found the Dragon Balls while they were fighting. He had used his magic to summon Porunga in the chaos. His wish was granted. His magic power was fully restored. He did not need to eat one by one anymore. He could eat the whole planet at once. Moro raised his hands. The sky turned dark. He began to pull the life force from the core of New Namek. The planet began to crumble. Gohan tried to stand. He could not. Moro looked at them with pity. He said he would let them live. He said he wanted them to get stronger so he could eat them later. He swatted them away like flies. They flew into the horizon. Moro finished his meal. New Namek died. The planet turned into a dead rock. Moro left in his ship. He was heading for the next meal. He was heading for Earth. Gohan and Vegeta were rescued by the Galactic Patrol. They woke up in the hospital bay of the patrol ship. They had failed. Another planet was dead. Gohan slammed his fist into the metal wall. He had the power of a beast, but it was useless against magic. He needed a way to stop the absorption. Jacko told them Moro would take time to digest. He would reach Earth in 2 months. They had 2 months to find a solution. Vegeta stood up. He ripped the IV tubes out of his arm. He said he was going somewhere. He said he knew a place where they taught strange techniques. A place Goku had visited years ago. Planet Yardrat. He told Gohan to stay and defend Earth. He said Gohan was the brute strength, but Vegeta would be the surgeon. Vegeta took a pod and left. Gohan returned to Earth. He was terrified. He went to the lookout. He asked Piccolo for advice. Piccolo said they could not beat magic with punches. They needed to seal it or disrupt it. Gohan thought about the Mafuba, but it was risky. He needed something else. He decided to train his mind. He sat under a waterfall. He did not move for weeks. He focused on his energy. He tried to make it dense. He tried to keep it inside his body so Moro could not pull it out. He learned to lock his ki. It was painful. It felt like holding his breath while running a marathon. But he did it. 2 months passed. The sky over Earth turned purple. Moro's ship descended. He brought an army of convicts with him. He had broken open the galactic prison. The Z fighters were ready. Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, Roshi, Yamcha, and the androids stood in the city. They fought the convicts. Gohan stood on a skyscraper. He waited for the king. Moro floated down. He looked like a god of death. He sensed Gohan. He sensed the dense, locked energy. He was impressed. "You learned to close the lid on the jar," Moro said. "But I can smash the jar." Gohan stepped off the building. He fell. Before he hit the ground, he snapped. The red eyes opened. The silver hair grew. The purple lightning crackled. "Beast Gohan." He landed. The pavement vaporized. He did not roar. He was silent. He looked at Moro. He vanished. A fist connected with Moro's cheek. The sound was like a bomb going off. Moro flew through 10 buildings. Gohan was on him instantly. He kicked Moro into the sky. He flew up and sledgehammered him down. Moro hit the street. A crater formed. Gohan landed. He pointed a finger. A Makanko Sappo, the special beam cannon, fired. He had learned it from Piccolo. It drilled through Moro's shoulder. Moro screamed. Gohan was winning. His energy was so dense and violent that Moro could not drain it fast enough. It was like trying to drink from a fire hose. The pressure was hurting Moro's mouth, but Moro was cunning. He knew he was outmatched physically. He used his magic. He created illusions. Gohan saw Videl dying. He saw Pan crying. Gohan faltered for a second. That was enough. Moro's hand shot out. It punched through Gohan's chest. No, it didn't. Gohan had caught the hand. The illusion shattered. Gohan's red eyes were furious. "I have seen worse nightmares than this," Gohan said. He broke Moro's wrist. Moro howled. He was backed into a corner. He realized this mortal was different. This mortal had lived through hell. Moro decided to use his trump card. He had kept a copy of an angel's power. During his travels, he had encountered Meris, the trainee angel. He had copied Meris's abilities before Meris vanished. Moro activated the power. His body swelled. He grew white feathers. A halo appeared around his neck. He had ultra instinct, but it was forced. It was twisted. Moro vanished. He appeared behind Gohan. He kicked Gohan. Gohan flew into the ocean. The water parted. Moro flew down. He punched Gohan deep into the seabed. Gohan struggled. Moro was faster now. His body moved on its own. Gohan's beast form was strong, but it relied on reaction. Ultra instinct was action without thought. Moro began to pummel Gohan. Gohan's vision blurred. The red aura flickered. He was losing. Suddenly, a spaceship crashed into the ocean nearby. It was a Yadrashin ship. The door blew open. Vegeta flew out. He looked different. His clothes were strange. His aura was calm. He dove into the water. He reached the fight. Moro was choking Gohan. Vegeta placed his hand on the ground. He did not hit Moro. He hit the seabed. "Forced spirit fission," Vegeta shouted. The technique rippled through the water. It hit Moro. Moro gasped. His muscles shrank. The stolen energy began to leave him. The souls of the Namekians he ate. The planets he destroyed. They were being ripped out of him. They floated up as lights. They returned to the sky. Moro weakened. His ultra instinct became unstable. His body could not handle the divine power without the stolen life force to buffer it. He began to swell. He was mutating. He was becoming a bomb. Moro screamed. He merged with the earth itself. His face appeared in the crust. His hands became mountains. He laughed. He said if they killed him, they would destroy the earth. He was the planet now. He began to draw energy from every living thing. The flowers died. The people fell unconscious. Krillin and the others collapsed. Gohan and Vegeta floated in the air. They were tired. They looked at the giant face of Moro laughing at them. Vegeta cursed. His fission technique wouldn't work fast enough on a whole planet. He would need to touch the core, and Moro would kill him before he got there. They needed to break the crystal on Moro's forehead. That was his core, but it was protected by layers of rock and magic. Gohan looked at his hands. They were shaking. He felt the earth dying. He felt Pan's heartbeat slowing down in the distance. He closed his eyes. He stopped thinking about winning. He stopped thinking about losing. He thought about his father. He thought about the Kamehameha they did against Cell. He thought about the goodbye. "Vegeta," Gohan said softly. "Clear the path." Vegeta looked at Gohan. He saw the energy building. It was not just red anymore. It was white. It was pure. It was everything. Vegeta nodded. He knew what he had to do. Vegeta flew down. He landed on Moro's nose. He placed both hands on the rocky skin. He poured every ounce of his spirit into the ground. He used the fission technique in reverse. Instead of separating, he forced the energy to scatter. He disrupted Moro's control over the earth for 1 second. The rock softened. The barrier weakened. "Now, Gohan!" Vegeta screamed. Gohan was already moving. He did not fly. He launched himself like a rocket. The sonic boom shattered windows globally. He flew straight down. He clenched his fist. The red aura condensed into a single point on his knuckle. Beast! Impact! Gohan punched the crystal on Moro's forehead. The impact was silent at first. Then the light exploded. It traveled through Moro's giant body. It traveled through the Earth's crust. It did not hurt the planet. It only hurt the parasite. Moro's face screamed in agony. The magic shattered. The crystal broke into dust. Moro's spirit was ejected from the earth. It was a black cloud of hate. It tried to flee. Gohan was waiting. He cupped his hands. Ka, me, ha, me. The blue light filled the sky. It was brighter than the sun. Ha! The beam hit the black cloud. There was no resistance. Moro was erased. Every atom of his magic was burned away. The beam continued into space. It passed the moon. It faded into the stars. Gohan fell. He was unconscious before he hit the ground. Vegeta caught him. Vegeta lowered him gently to the grass. The earth was safe. The flowers began to bloom again as the stolen energy rained back down from the sky. The Namekians on New Namek woke up. The balance was restored. Vegeta sat down next to Gohan. He was exhausted. He looked at the sleeping warrior. He smiled. "You did it, Kakarot's son," he whispered. "You finally surpassed us all. For real this time." Days later, life returned to normal. Gohan recovered. He had scars, but he was alive. He sat at his dinner table. Chi-Chi made a feast. Videl, Pan, Goten, Trunks, Bulma, Vegeta. Everyone was there. They ate and laughed. They celebrated the victory. But Gohan was quiet. He stepped outside. He looked at the stars. He felt a presence. He turned around. A translucent figure stood there. It was Goku. He had a halo. He was smiling. "You handled that well," Goku said. "I had help," Gohan said. "Vegeta was amazing." Goku nodded. "Vegeta has grown too. But you, Gohan, you stepped up. I don't need to worry anymore. The Earth has a guardian." Gohan looked at his father. "Will you come back?" Goku scratched his head. "I don't think so. My time is done. The new generation is here. Plus, I have a lot of training to do in other world. Pikkon is getting strong." Gohan smiled. It was a sad smile, but it was a genuine one. "Okay, Dad. We'll be fine." "I know you will," Goku said. He began to fade. "Tell Golden to study, but let him fight a little too, okay?" "I will," Gohan promised. Goku vanished. Gohan stood alone in the night. He took off his glasses. He wiped them. He put them back on. He was not just a scholar anymore. He was not just a father. He was the strongest warrior in the universe, and he was ready for whatever came next. But the universe was vast, and in the shadows of the demon realm, a scientist named Fu was watching the monitors. He saw the energy spike from Gohan. He saw the timeline distortions. He smiled. He adjusted his glasses. He picked up a test tube containing a swirling pink liquid. "Interesting," Fu said. "The variables are changing. Perhaps it is time to conduct a new experiment. A universal tree might need this kind of fertilizer." The story of Gohan was far from over. The canon had been broken. The timeline was free. And where there is light, there will always be a new shadow waiting to test it. Gohan turned back to the house. He heard Pan laughing. He walked inside and closed the door. For now, there was peace. And for Gohan, that was worth fighting for. 10 years passed since the day the wizard Moro turned to dust. The world changed in quiet ways. Cities were rebuilt with better materials. Capsule Corp developed shields for major capitals. The people of Earth did not know the details, but they knew that the days of ignorance were over. They knew that gods and monsters existed, and they knew that a silent guardian watched over them from the mountains. Gohan stood in his study. He was older now. He wore glasses and a vest. His hair was cut short. He placed a heavy book on the shelf. It was a treatise on advanced energy dynamics. He had finally bridged the gap between science and spirit. He taught classes at the university, but his students noticed a heaviness about him. They saw the scars on his hands that never fully faded. They saw the way he looked at the sky when a thunderstorm rolled in, calculating threats before he realized it was just rain. Outside on the grass, a teenage Pan was sparring with Piccolo. She was strong. She had her father's potential and her mother's fire. She launched a kick that cracked the sound barrier. Piccolo blocked it, grinning. He was old, but he was happy. He had raised 2 generations of warriors, but he missed his friend. He missed Goku. That was the price of this timeline. The safety was absolute, but the heart was different. In the original history, Goku was the center of the sun, pulling everyone in with his warmth and his love for the fight. In this world, Gohan was the moon. He was a cool, bright light that cut through the darkness, but he did not offer warmth. He offered protection. Goku remained in the other world, becoming a legend that slowly faded into myth. The Dragon Balls gathered dust. They were rarely used. Without Goku's recklessness, fewer accidents happened. Fewer villains were attracted to Earth for the sheer sport of it. It was a safer world, but a quieter one. Vegeta landed on the balcony. He had grey in his hair now. He did not wear armor anymore, just a training suit. He leaned against the door frame. He watched Gohan work. They did not speak often. They did not need to. They shared the burden of being the last 2 pure-blooded warriors who remembered the old days. Vegeta had become the teacher Gohan needed, and Gohan had become the king Vegeta never was. Gohan took off his glasses. He looked at Vegeta. Vegeta nodded once, then flew away to train Trunks and Bulla. Gohan walked to the window. He looked at the statue in the city square. It was a golden statue of Goku, hand raised in a wave. It was the only place where the carefree smile still existed. Gohan touched the glass. He had saved the universe. He had saved his family. He had fulfilled every expectation placed on him since he was 4 years old. He was the perfect warrior. But sometimes, in the silence of the night, he wished he could just be a boy again, flying on a yellow cloud, with a father who knew that life was an adventure, not just a duty. The book of history was closed. The timeline was secure. The strongest warrior lived, but the adventure had ended, replaced by a long, eternal peace.